What about what NFL insider and friend of the show, Josina Anderson, is saying? Of course, she's as plugged in as anybody when it comes to the national scene. And just a short while ago, right before I came on, Josina says, I'm told there's, quote, nothing going on with the Ravens and Raiders. So how about this? I'm told there's nothing going on with the Ravens and Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams at this time, according to her source. Yesterday, I was also told there was nothing to report on this front. So while the trade market is generally fluid, that's the tone right now. Okay, so that's from Josina Anderson saying that no rumblings within her network. Nothing to speak of yet. Now, you did hear from Mike Garafolo on that first slide that said, look, nothing is imminent, still looking toward next week for things to potentially heat up. All right, so just keep all of that in mind. That's where things stand as of right now. NFL Network's reporting from earlier in the week that Sarah and I discussed on our lunch hour live stream reads as follows. If Davante Adams gets his wish, he'll eventually be a member of the New York Jets, playing with his friend and four-time NFL MVP, Aaron Rodgers. New York is where the Raiders star wants to play after informing the team on Monday he prefers to be traded. That's according to Rappaport's sources. But Adams has not demanded as much from Las Vegas, and this is not a scenario like Rodgers in 2023 when the quarterback informed the Packers he would only play for the Jets. In fact, according to sources informed of Adams' thinking, he is open to playing for several other teams. The Saints, Steelers, Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, and perhaps the 49ers are among teams that either have inquired about the six-time Pro Bowler or are places Adams would be happy landing. Now, in the past, with Amber Theo-Harris, I think it was maybe last offseason or within the last year or so, he told Amber Theo-Harris situationally, if it meant that maybe he would be in the 800 mark in terms of receiving yards, but he's guaranteed a Super Bowl title in Baltimore, would he want to team up with Lamar? And of course, he chose the Super Bowl. Pretty easy to say that in the midst of that kind of exercise. But this is reports and reporting from earlier in the week. The Raiders have had conversations with several teams since Monday when Adams told Las Vegas he preferred to play elsewhere. Those conversations ramped up after NFL media first reported that Adams would like to be dealt. Nothing currently has come close to happening, and no trade is expected until at least next week at the earliest. And according to Garafolo, that's still the same thing. That has not changed. While the Raiders could trade Adams to the Jets, they will do what's best for their organization, including taking the best deal from the highest bidder. While players generally have some semblance of control, in this case, Adams would have to rework his contract to facilitate a trade. He is not in total control of where he ends up. And while teams have discussed potential deals, there likely won't be any official offers until Adams' hamstring is healthy enough for him to play. Like I mentioned earlier on, he missed Las Vegas's Week 4 win over Cleveland. He is not expected to play this Sunday, obviously, against Denver, but it's likely he'll continue to play for Las Vegas when healthy if the right deal takes weeks to materialize or never does. Okay, so that's what's going on right now in Las Vegas. Antonio Pierce, rumors and rumblings in terms of whether or not he's lost the locker room, quarterback controversy, wide receiver controversy, and yet hard to believe that this was the same exact team a mere 2 or 3 weeks ago that came to Baltimore with Gardner Minshew and spoiled the Ravens home opener. For a second consecutive year, Gardner Minshew comes in with a different organization and spoils a Ravens home game. Unbelievable. Did it so last year with Indianapolis, does so this year, of course, with Las Vegas. But if you're just tuning in, again, I think this is important about the personality with which Davante Adams lives with, the way that he acts in the media, on social media. He's on record for saying this.
Having Aaron Rodgers throw to me?
Yes.
Yes, I would love that. The trolling, I'm first team all troll, so don't take none of that too serious. But I would love to have that, and obviously that'd be a dream scenario. one that I'm very familiar with. But anything you've seen on Twitter, that's not a tale of anything. That's just wishful thinking and messing around a little bit.
First team all troll. So just keep that in mind. He can be a jokester. And this is what's going on as of within the hour from NFL insider Josina Anderson. If you're just popping on this Friday afternoon live stream, good to be with you. Over 600 of you concurrently watching. We'll open up the live chat in just a bit. We'll open up the guest lines in just a bit. Josina says, I'm told there's, quote, nothing going on with the Ravens and Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams at this time. She was also checking in yesterday and was told there was nothing to report on this front. While the trade market is generally fluid, that's the tone right now. That's what we know as of right now.